Day 28, May 2020. Repent, fast, and pray. Let's open up in a word of prayer. Father God Most High, wonderful Father, mighty God, thank you for another day. Thank you that you know the beginning from the end. Lord God, thank you that you're calling our people to repent, fast and pray because you know what's coming. You know the plans, you know the spiritual realm, you know what's going on. Lord God, I lift up everyone to you this morning. All the people in the diaspora, especially the people in the US, especially our brothers and sisters in the US. Lord, be with them. Put your shield around them. Protect them. I lift up the families of all of those who mourn, especially George Floyd's family and his friends and his loved ones. I just lift them up to you, Lord. Be with our people. Be with your people, the ones you've called to pray and turn to you and repent. Touch their hearts, Lord. Comfort them and give them your wisdom on how to act. Give them your peace. And let the words of my mouth and the thoughts of my heart be acceptable in your sight. And to you, Lord, be all glory and honor and praise. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. I think we have a kayaker. Today my heart is so heavy. Just so incredibly sad. But to God be all glory and honor, and to God who knows our pain, and God knows our suffering. When I saw that picture of that police person kneeling on someone's neck, it's so wrong that it just goes to your core, regardless of what color the person may have been, regardless of what he may have done, let alone to think that the man did nothing more than just whatever he was doing. Nothing that deserves. Nothing, no human being deserves that. When I saw that man, what I saw was evil pride. So in other words, when I saw him, his pose, his gesture, it's not his ethnicity, but it is the spirit that embodies him. Because we're in a spiritual realm, we're not just physical. And what I saw was a spiritual act. That's what I saw. I saw evil pride, but from a spiritual point of view. So our weapons are not just flesh and blood. That was not a flesh and blood act. Yes, it's a human that executed the act. It's a human that does things, but that was a spiritual attack on our people and on all believers. Christians everywhere, we need to be on our knees and pray. Because that goes against God's word. That shows the verse that I was reading yesterday, the times when the people, men would be boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient, ungrateful, unholy. It's just so, and if I feel like this, imagine how his family must feel. They're not going to have, what a tall, handsome, strong man. They're not going to have the pleasure of his company anymore. They're not going to have whatever way he lifted them up, he added value to, they're not going to have that anymore. And I don't know how anyone can feel it's justified to do that to the point where you know the person can't breathe. yesterday I was really reluctant to because I was saying to God, how can I speak in anger when I don't even know? When you see something like that, how do you respond? Was I to be obedient to God? And God said yesterday, which was very poignant because I really wasn't, but God said we shouldn't respond quickly to anger. We should be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to become angry. Although we can say 400 years it's slow, but also we're told that it is God. The magnitude of all of this is beyond any human retribution. When I think about our people who were taken into slavery, and I say our, not even just from an African American perspective, when I say our, part of my ancestry, as a fact, were taken into slavery, and they were part of the ones that returned back to the continent, back to Sierra Leone, and some other parts of Africa where some other people returned. So that's how I am saying I'm African, but I am not different from the African Americans. And African Americans, please understand that. Please understand that. So my people, your people, our people, and even those in the continent, even the ones who've never been in bondage, but it was part of their people that was taken. In the when you look at maps of Africa, before Europeans came, before the colonizers came and decided to take the land and the people for their own pleasure and greed, when you look at maps of Africa pre the 1700s, go back to the 1600 and the 1500, the maps of Africa, especially around the West African region, had Kingdom of Judah, and it had all the biblical names right there before Europeans came and changed it all. So African Americans, that is your heritage. Those are your people. That's who you are. That was the name of your land. That's what your ancestors had called your land. Those were your people. It is not the countries that we have now, although we identify ourselves as such. Right there in the western coast of Africa is a Kingdom of Judah. So all of you taken into bondage, which ties in perfectly with the Bible, which says you'll be taken for 400 years. Well, it's around that time now. So we need to know who we are. And some people feel like, oh, the Bible's not mine. The Bible has been whitewashed. The imagery that's presented has been packaged to feel someone's greed, someone's something. So don't turn your back on God saying, this is not my God, that is your God. This is the Bible, and the 400 years it's you. And when God said, God's calling many people to speak to you. Because God said to me specifically, tell them to repent, fast and pray for May. Because God knows what is to come, and we need to be spiritually ready. This isn't anything we can... I pray that people feel a sense of wisdom and a sense of calm, and they turn to God. Because the magnitude of everything, because if people go out and protest, it turns to riot, it turns to more people getting hurt. Let's turn to God, because He knows, because this is a spiritual warfare. This is not a physical warfare, this is spiritual. There's nothing new under the sun. Let's turn to God, because He knows this is coming. He knows, and He loves us. What we can do is we can ask God for His protection. Just like in the Exodus, we have to ask God for His protection. Psalm 91:1. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. We have to seek God's shelter. We have to seek God's shelter. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence, which we're going through now, this deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and your rampart. Turn to God, please. This is a spiritual warfare, turn to God. He is the only protection. Exodus 14, 13 and 14. Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance of the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptian you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." There's nothing new under the sun. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Act in wisdom. This is not a physical warfare. If you take up physical fights, more people are just going to get hurt. More of our people are just going to get hurt. Psalm 118 verse 8. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. And that's the verse I really want to leave everyone with. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. My brothers and my sisters, condolences to all of you who've lost. And to my Africans in the continent, my brothers and sisters in the continent, turn to God and pray. Because your extended family, the diaspora, needs to be able to go back to Africa. And everyone in the diaspora, as soon as the pandemic is over and you can travel, you can afford to visit Africa, where you can truly be free. Visit Africa. And for those on the continent who are thinking you go to Europe or you go to America, it's a bed of roses. It is not a bed of roses. It is not a bed of roses. Let us build up our continent. Let us build up our continent. I have family in the US. And you see, once they walk down the street, someone you don't know, someone's going to hurt them. Let us build up our continent, the diaspora, throughout the entire diaspora. Once this pandemic is over, find a way to go visit the continent. Just choose a country. There's a guy called Wodemeyer. He does videos on showing parts of Africa. I'll share one of his videos so you can get a link, because he's visited many countries. Choose a country, go visit. Go visit. And be in a place where you know what it feels like to walk down the street and no one's going to try and kill you or hurt you. But remember, Psalm 118 verse 8. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in men. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God set his face to shine upon you and be with you. And may you know how much he loves you and how much he is your shelter. Lord willing, we'll speak again tomorrow.